Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the shed. We are live here Thursday night and I'd like to welcome you all. First of all, a shout out to the channel members. Channel members are rock stars and they gratefully support what I do here. If you do want to become a channel member, you can click the join button down below there. And for as little as $1.49 a month, like that's less than a cup of coffee, you'll have access to the emojis. Also, you can get access to me. You can talk to me directly. And, excuse me, just finishing off a cup of tea. And I'll be doing some private members live streams as well. So there's a few little perks. And as we go further on, as I get better at this, we'll add a few more perks. But, sorry, forgive me, please. Oh, that's really repeating. I think I drank it too quick. I wasn't just sipping on a cup of tea, I was sort of gulping it down. I was running out of time. But anyway, shout out to the people in the chat here. You guys are fantastic for coming in and supporting me week after week. And there are people like Funk and Hungry, Jamar. We got my sister, mum and dad are watching on the big TV. And we got Steamy Man. We've got, here we go. We've got Dogface Simon, Stylesy. Oh, righto. There you go. Breaking. Petrol tanker spills diesel near a shopping centre here in Brisbane. There you go. I'm from Brisbane, but we are spread out all over the world. So if I've missed, Peter's in the house. We got a few other people. If I've missed you, sorry, it still means I love you more. Thanks, Funk and Hungry. No, I was gulping it down like a toad, G, that's for sure. So we're going to go over to the, first of all, hang on, I'll call in the shed dogs. Shed dogs. Whoa, here they come. Now the shed dogs are only here because I've got a couple of bickies. And we got two shed dogs, shed dog number 1 and shed dog number 2. Yes, you know what to do. Right. Gentle. And I forgot to mention Cody. Cody's in the chat. And the autocorrect called him Jody. Bloody autocorrect. It's crazy. There you go. That's it. You had enough now. Are you going to run away? Hey, you're going to run away, are you? I got no more for you. I really haven't. I know you just eat all night, but anyway, okay? All right. Catch you later. We'll catch up with everyone over here. Righto. Right, and the doggies, yeah. Yeah, look, there's plenty happening and goings on in the world. There's plenty to see and do out there if you want to if you want to get out and about. There's plenty of tribute bands and all that sort of stuff. But I'm here in my shed, which I spend a lot of time in from time to time, usually at night, because I work a day job, I work a full-time job. So I'm up at 5 in the morning, start work about 6:30, and work a 10-hour day and don't get home till about 4:45, 5 o'clock, that sort of thing. And lately it's just go, 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 go. I just don't stop. I do a lot of driving in my job and it takes a bit of a toll. But anyway, in the shed here, I'll just go over to the talking head because I've got a few examples. Now, I'll bring this up on screen. Wrong one. Righto. This is what we're working on. This baby here. This is a steamroller. Yes, an actual steamroller, because you light a fire, boil some water, produces steam, and you propel yourself along. So I brought this 7 years ago, and it's been an interesting sort of journey. We're doing a complete restoration on it. It spent 50 years of its life outside after it was used, and therefore the elements took its toll to the roller. Plus, we found a few things on the inside that we weren't happy with. For instance, hang on, I'll be back. I do have my props here, which I've moved, and I've hidden them. Oh no, I've got one right here. Now, for those of you unfamiliar or familiar with boilers or kettles, those sort of things, we'll go back over to the big live here. So this is a boiler tube. There's quite a few of these inside the boiler, and this is covered in limescale. Now, limescale is the heavy sediments and deposits that are left behind after you boil water continuously. Now, this happens in kettles and a lot of other things that boil water. It's the impurities in the water. And normally you can't see them when you look at the water, but when you start boiling it, they get left behind. And you can see how thick some of this stuff is. And what this does is acts as a I'll get my words right one day. It acts as an insulation, and therefore the heat from the fire can't be transferred into the water to make steam efficiently. So, you know, it's those sort of things that you have to contend with. And in this day and age, you use various chemicals called boiler treatment. Oh, excuse me again. Boiler treatment to help treat the water that's in the boiler that you're boiling. So hopefully you can get rid of a lot of that stuff. And also you need to do periodic maintenance as well. So we'll just go back to our talking head again over here. So that's the roller. Now, and we'll take that off and hang on. Nope. Oh, that one will do. This here, we'll just change subjects. This is all related to the steamroller. This is a book. Now, the company who built this is a company called John Fowler and Company. They're no longer in existence. However, their legacy lives on with things like this that are almost 100 years old, plus examples that they made that are even older. And this is what they call a build sheet, or the information that's given to the erecting shop to put this thing together when a customer orders it. This particular engine that we're looking at is engine number 14626. Now, it's the same type of steamroller as this one. If you look up the top, it says class T3 8-ton compound roller, and that's what this steamroller is. No, well, Peter, you'd have to have a lot of CLR. You'd have to go for a mild acid or something like that to get this stuff off. But because the boiler is such a fairly small boiler, as you can see on screen there, we've been able to get in with needle guns and things like that and get a lot of it out. There's still a lot in there, but a lot of it's come out during the restoration process and cleaning process. And if you watch the intro video, you would have seen a lot of that being taken out during the initial phases of the restoration. So this gives all the information. Now, unfortunately, I don't have... Righto, Robbo, no worries. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know why. It should be all right. Maybe just give it a few more. Just give it a few more, mate. I don't know why that is. Oh, geez, Robbo, you didn't have to do that, mate. Seriously, man. Thank you. You didn't have to do that at all. I don't know why that is. Actually, I think I know. But anyway, look, I'll get to Robbo. Don't send any more super chats, mate. Just if you want to send a message, just send it through whatever platform you got me on there. So sorry about that, folks. So this book, and it has several pages. Cherinator, hello. Sorry, folks, I'm getting distracted. Cherinator's coming in. G'day, mate. How are you? Thanks for being here. So let's get back on. Cherinator's been a member for 2 months. Congratulations, Cherinator. Thanks for being a member for 2 months. That's absolutely fantastic. But getting back to this, sorry, I keep getting distracted. And for some people, that's that puts them off. But anyway, So this gives all the information related to the steamroller on what parts are needed to make this, to put it together. Now, when they were manufacturing these, they didn't have an assembly line. Well, they did, but they didn't have an assembly line like a car factory. A lot of this stuff was put together as it was ordered. However, John Fowler and Company did standardise on a lot of their components. And congratulations to Funk and Hungry for being a member for 2 months too. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And as you can see, right down the bottom of this page is the delivery date. Engine was June 23rd, 1920. And mine was a little bit later, it was 6 years on. I was sort of hoping that the information like this would be available to me as part of the research. We've been able to come across a lot of historical drawings that are still around today. Not all of them, but most of them, which has really helped out. But the information like this build sheet, unfortunately, is not available. And I was sort of hoping it would be in this book, but unfortunately, there's a lot of things that got lost during a fire. So that's a quick overview there. So this here on screen now is a advertising brochure, and this is how John Fowler and Company of Leeds, United Kingdom, Leeds, London, as you can see, Engineers Leeds. It was just because they were known the world over. This is how the steamroller you see on the flyer here is the particular engine that we are restoring. And in this flyer, it outlines how economical it is, how you can, it's justifying costs and all that sort of thing. It's just the same thing that, manufacturers use today. It's low cost, it doesn't cost you much, and all this sort of stuff. And until something goes wrong and you need to repair it, or a hydraulic line blows on a modern day machine, and then you've got to spend 10 hours digging out the hydraulic line to replace it, and plus a downtime and all that sort of stuff. However, steamrollers are not that complicated, and were built by men, with less education than a lot of us here in this chat. But that gives you an example of the flyer. The other, we'll get rid of, hello, it's going to have a hernia. Hang on a minute, folks. Right, we're back. Sorry if I froze. Hang on. Yeah. Righto. It just froze a bit for a second. I'm sorry about that. We should be back to resuming normal programming. So the next photo I'm going to show is, this is the erecting shop of the Fowler Steam Plough Works. This photo was taken in about 1920. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, folks. Right, this is what the erecting shop looks like. And in this photo, we can see a lot of details, a lot of engines that were in the process of being built. Right in front, down the front of the bottom there. Now, I have previously shown this photo before, but I just keep going back to it because for someone like me, it just shows a wealth of knowledge. You can see the big overhead crane right at the top of the photo, and below is a number of cranes that just swing out from the wall. So you could pick up, as you can see, there's wheels and flywheels and you name it, there's bits all over the place. And if you think about health and safety, there's probably not much health and safety, but it gives you an idea of, how much this place was turning out. Clinton. Yeah, I thought Peter would say something like that. But just be aware, guys, that the feedback I get from these live streams, we do have younger members, watching these live streams with their parents. So just be careful what you say and be courteous to yourself. It's just, you never know who's going to be watching. All right. So it's amazing what you can find, what's out there, information, historical photos, that sort of thing. You know, it's just amazing. It really is, and it helps the restoration process. So what we'll do now, we'll jump over to the no, I'll go back to the live stream here because I've got a few things to show you before we jump over to the lathe. We're going to do a little bit of lathe work, but most of you know I have been working on a whistle, a steam whistle. You know, and it's taken a little bit more than what I thought. So this is the bit, this is the top bit, this is the bit and bit, this is the whistle valve actually. Now we'll just screw that on like so. Right, that's what it looks like. It's a fairly long one. It's only a single note. There's no other chambers in here to make it a chime whistle. These whistles come in 3 and 5 chime and sometimes 6. I'll give you an example of a 5 chime. Oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, whoop. Right, that's an example of a 5 chime. Huge and heavy. Right, I'll just get that sitting back down. Now, our friend Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop, she's not in the chat tonight. She's probably dead tired or had to rush off somewhere. She's drawn one up in CAD and printed it, 3D printed part of it, especially the chambers part where that makes the note. And she's going to cast one up, but she hasn't got round to that yet. And that's a pretty interesting build. So anyway, in the videos, we've overhauled this. I've remachined the hex. I've cleaned up here these lugs here. They'd been broken off. She might be lurking too. So we've cleaned all those up, and we've put a bush in here because the actual valve, that's the actual valve that moves in and out. So I'll show you how that goes in there, right? And at the end here, there was a lot of play, like seriously amount of play, but it's not now. And this nut and spring, let's get that on the screen. This nut and spring, they screw in here like so, and this is all steam tight. And this lever goes in here with a pin like so, and you pull on that and you go toot toot. Righto. So that's you know, fairly firm once there's steam pressure behind it. And all this, it was working, and I probably didn't need to do it, but it was a good exercise. And you know, no, there's even less. So this was well worn. You may see a mark around there. I remachined this, and what we got to do now is lap that in with some lapping paste. But what we're going to do tonight, we're going to jump over on the lathe and we're going to do some machining. I've already set up and done some machining. Oh, excuse me. And I'll just take a bit of a sip before we jump over there, and we'll finish machining this off. I've machined the bulk of it off. I've got my verniers. The other thing you may notice, I'll take you for a bit of a tour here. We're nice and tidy up here. Now, all the tools that were sitting up there on the backrest, there's the pin in question. That's the old one. Doesn't look like it's worn, but it is. And down here, there we go. There's all the lathe tools now all set up. There's a whole row of them there. And I've probably got more than I need, but anyway, it is what it is. So I've already got it roughed down to size and shape roughly, and we're 6.5 here, And the lever, I wish I could go. There we go. Right, sorry for the dead air. Cherinator. Right. Right. Mr. Shed Talk might be lurking. So I'm going to machine that down to... All right, so that's 6.6. You probably can't see that. That's 6.6 according to the verniers. We want 6.5, which is the original diameter. So we want that. We want this lever to fit over this shaft here, and we're a little bit big. So we'll just take a little bit more off. And we'll just take a... hopefully this overview shot looks pretty good, and that you still hear me all right while the lathe is running. Okay, so that's about 6.6. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take a cut at that. And then we'll come back, we'll measure it, then we'll come back and do another pass. Because when you get down to this sort of diameter on brass, sometimes you can get some flexing away. Right, so we're not going to change anything in terms of, we're not going to adjust anything, we're not going to back it off, we're just going to leave it as is. 6.6, so we just take a couple more off. It's 0.8. Let's try that. Let's see what happens there. And as we take a cut, I'll get the lathe file out and I'll just give it a nice little chamfer. Take the burr off. Do the same there. I'm just concentrating as it gets towards the end here. I've got my mark that I go to. Yeah, you're right, Peter. There's always another tool. Thanks, Clinton. This is basic machining. It really is, and a lot of people do this sort of stuff in their home shops like this, and it happens everywhere all the time. Right, so that's still a little bit on the tight side. So I'll take another cut, a very thin cut. To give you an idea, you probably can't see it, but there's a fair bit of movement there. It may not look like a lot, but when it's actually sitting in the valve itself, it does rattle around a lot, and then that adds to the extra wear and tear. And when we open up the lid of the lathe, it automatically cuts it out. So, oh God, I knew that had happened. That's a little bit too much, I think. Let's double check that. Mm, 6.48, that's only a couple of hundredths. just feels worse than what it is. Oh, here we go, the dogs. Come on. Right. It's a little bit. I would have liked it to be a bit firmer, but we'll see how we go. If need be. Okay, so we're finishing this off. Once again, the lathe file just to take any burrs off. We're going to change tools. Go to our parting tool. Let's turn that off for a second. And we're going to get the verniers and our piece. That's 5 mil. What's that? 5 mil, 4.76. So it's 3/16. Righto. We can go a little bit more. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing, this probably would have been made in a day where everything was imperial, and yeah, that'll do. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit more, and we've got the parting tool in. This is actually a grooving tool, but it's the best parting tool out. It just works brilliantly. Brilliantly. I'll get that right one day. And it just chews through the material like there's no tomorrow. Right. Now, in saying that, I adjusted it before and it was too low, and now it seems to be a bit too high. It's a little bit better, but we're going to go down just a fraction more. Right. While I've got the opportunity, I'll just run the file over that again and take that, knock that off. So I've got a nice chamfer there. And we'll come in and there we go. It just pops off. We've got a little bit of a bit on the end there. There's our leftover piece of brass or bronze. Bronze it is. So we'll just grab that in the lathe like so. Right there. And we'll put our other tool back on and we'll just whip that off. I'll get to you. Right, let's get this finished off. And we'll just take a little facing cut. Make that all nice and pretty. There we go, that's done now. So there we go, we're in, we're nice and new. We're definitely, so we'll sit back over here and I'll just answer a couple of questions. No, Peter, it didn't taper. And I can even prove that. I'll get the micrometer out and see if it is tapered, which I don't think it is. Right. +1, +1. Oh, okay. Righto. And right. Micrometer. Just to show. Oops, hang on. You can't see me from there. What you can see is my foot. There's a bit of angle for you, Peter. You got a bit of a fetish for ankles, I hear. Well, you used to anyway. So I've been told. Rumour has it. Right, here we are. We're back on screen. The Michitoyo micrometer, 30 plus. Is it 30 plus years old now? No, it's got to be more than that. I got this in my 20s. Yeah, about 30 years old. Got it during my apprenticeship. Now the micrometer is reading 0. Peter's a bit of a stickler sometimes to things. Righto. Okay. 6.52, 6.53. You probably can't see that, 6.53. Now, a micrometer is used for doing accurate. Oh, okay, righto. It is. You're right, Pete. It is on a bit of a taper. My apologies. 4 hundredths, 3.5 hundredths taper over that distance. There you go. So you learn something new every day. I stand corrected, Peter. Sometimes I'm wrong, not always. But anyway, okay, so assembling this upside down is probably the easiest way to go. And that pin goes in there like so. That holds everything together. And that looks pretty good. Right. That's actually, right. That's still quite loose. Still a fair bit loose, actually, compared to the old one. I didn't think it would be that loose. Right, well, there you go. There you go. And now for some people, this is probably being a little bit pedantic, a little bit over the top. But sometimes you just want a really good fit. And this is not it. Yeah, I could have put the tailstock in but anyway, look, at the end of the day, the other thing I could do, that's 8, okay, so that in between there, that gap there is 8 millimetres. Oh, sometimes these things happen, Clinton. Right, 8 millimetres, that's 7.5, it's 0.25 either side. What I could do is put a little bit of a shim in there because there is, hang on, let's see it. There is that play there like so. And regardless whether the, well, okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. But so Mum just texted me a message and my dad said, let the heat take it up. So it's quite possible if I make the fit too good and when this heats up with, heat transfer and steam going through it, it's actually going to seize up. So I might be better off leaving it like it is and just finishing it up in terms of, yeah, it's probably not worth it, Pete. I know what you're saying and I did think that. But like I said, my dad just said, let the heat take it up. And more than likely, when everything expands, it'll all expand at the same rate because it's the same material. But it might just take up. So I'm going to suck it and see. So what I've got to do now, the only thing left to do now, is drill a small hole in there to take a split pin, cotter pin, whatever you want to call them, and give this a very, very light sandblast and put it back together. So it's practically back together now. I was going to put a 1/2 inch BSP thread in the bottom there just in case this was too big, but that hole is just too oversized. Wavy washers, Shin, yeah, wavy washers, I could put it in there. But I'll do what my dad suggested and just leave it until we get it on steam to get it to see what it does. Now, overall, so the only thing left to do now is just give it a light clean up. I'm probably not going to worry about, you can see there how these have had a bit of a ding. Hey, you shed dogs, come here. Come on, come here. Shed dogs have been playing. And give this a really good polish up. Now, Brasso would work, but there's other things like bicarb soda and flour and vinegar. Make your own brass polish. You can look that up on the internet. Oh, there you are. What are you doing? Come on. Hey, you haven't, oh God, look at slobber all over you from Max, where Max has been grabbing you around. Isn't that right, Max? Come on, Maxie boy. All right. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, okay, so that's it. Let's move right along. I'm happier with that now. There's just a few little things to finish off, and we'll make a video of that just to tie all those ends up. In fact, we'll put it all together so everything stays together. Hello, Mr. Lee G from First Floor Audio. Thank you for being here. Now, any of these creators you see in the chat, they've all got YouTube channels. Some are more active than others, but go give them some love because they're supporters of mine and they're great people, and they may have some content you may enjoy, like Mr. First Floor Audio there, does his own music, does fantastic stuff. Yep, just at First Floor or just First Floor Audio on YouTube. And Cherinator and Funkin' Hungry and Robbo and, yeah, Peter. Oh, Peter doesn't do much. Cody does. But anyway, you get the idea. Go give him some love. Right, so I'm just grabbing a spanner just to do that up. And I might even... Right, come back here. Woohoo! Righto. This here, the hex there, that's a bit... that's pretty good. I might just redo that. And so that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the way it is. You'll see it on a steam engine and it'll produce a tone. I don't think I can... I don't have enough air. And I haven't got the air compressor turned on or anything. It's a bit late at night now. It's 8 o'clock my time, just after 8 o'clock. But there it is. That's it. So we'll give this a bit of a clean up and a polish up and drill a hole there. Just a couple of more things and job done. It's ready to go on the steamroller when the time comes. And there we go. Happy days. Great. Right, we'll put that over on the bench. We'll just leave that there. Oh. Righto. Right, I haven't actually done much work on the roller lately. It's been a while. And most of you know that probably because I haven't actually put any content up. Work's been crazy and a few other things. I've decided to just walk away, not walk away, but just step away from the roller for a bit and just get my head together. Hang on, I'll be back. Hang on. Here we are lining up for the Grand Parade on day 3, I think it is. Aveling Steam steamroller back there, Aveling and Porter. This is a Super Sentinel steam truck. Steam traction engine there. It's a Roston and Proctor. Another Aveling and Porter roller here. Road loco over there with a wagon, traction wagon. Sorry, it's a bit wobbly. Roston Hornsby steamroller. Got an Alton traction engine with the rise trailer behind it. Another one behind. We're lined up 2x2 this time. Nice little crawler tractor on a trailer. Another trailer behind, hooked up behind a Marshall and Sons agricultural traction engine. Bit rough, yes, a bit rough. There we go. This one, another one over here. What's this one? It's a Roby, I think. No, that's the agent. Anyway, they're all the same. Look out. Nice barrel. And this big engine here, the big crane engine. Big engine, this one. Getting lined up. We're going to go up the road here. The audio is probably not that good. There it is. Huge. Righto. There we go. Righto. Righto, we're back from our little intermission break there. So as I was saying before, I had to go away and grab some water and that. Yeah, I've sort of stepped away from the roller for a bit, just with things going on, just life in general, and sort of refocusing and getting back into it slowly. I haven't forgotten about it. There's things in the back of my mind that I want to do, but sometimes, yeah, you need to take a break and just step away from something because it can get a bit too much. Need to, you know, just refocus. But anyway, life goes on, and just don't. All the footage you saw there was from the national rally that we attended, and that was the lineup of steam traction engines and steam rollers as part of the Grand Parade, which was held at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, it was great to see all those steam engines in one place. It's absolutely incredible. I think all up there was something like 50 odd, both mobile and stationary steam engines. Just a fantastic time and just unbelievable, just the amount of stuff and people you meet and things that you normally wouldn't see or wouldn't think exists. Like at the end there, at the front of the parade was the crane engine. That crane engine was built by John Fowler and Company, the same one who built my steamroller. And that's an awesome bit of gear to stand beside. The rear wheels are taller than me. I'm pretty tall, I'm about 6 foot. And the thing was capable of lifting 10 tons, as you saw on the jib there. And that was built back just before the turn of the century. You know, so it's amazing how this old technology has survived into a modern day, and when they were bringing it over here and when it was running around, it was certainly turning some heads, that's for sure. And I got to have a steer of it on the last day before they put it on the float, and just incredible bit of gear. A little bit heavy on the steering, as you'd appreciate, but just a really big engine. And yeah, I've featured that on the channel before. There's a dedicated video of it, you know, on the channel of doing towing a tractor sled in the tractor pull arena. That was pretty impressive. The thing was hardly working, so It's just fascinating to see this gear that's still around. And of course, after a certain period of time, parts do wear out, so you have to make new parts. And a lot of these engines have had new parts made for them over the years. Things like boiler tubes, like I showed you before, and various other things like that. Gears, they wear out, and it's just, but generally speaking, like 100 years ago, the people who made these would never have thought that this stuff would be around 100 years later. They couldn't even, maybe 20 years' time or something like that, 25, maybe 30. They thought that'd still be around. But 100 years, most people can't fathom. I mean, we can't even think that another 100 years from now, something that was made today will still be around, but it's quite possible. Water's getting low. But, and there's people like myself and others who are, actively finding this equipment or what's left of it and rebuilding it. And in some cases, I just got to take another one. You're right, Clinton. Both Clinton, Steamy Man here on YouTube, him and I are in the same club down at Old Petrie Down. And we have many examples of machinery that's around 100 years old, both steam and internal combustion engine. Clinton has his steam models or steam toys, and some of them are quite old. You've got a couple that are about 100-year-old, I think, Clinton. Some of your steam models. Excuse me while I just drink this. And there's plenty of examples around the world of some of this technology still around. And in fact, there's bridges that are, almost 100 years old. Here in Brisbane, we have the Story Bridge. It's not quite 100 years old. It's coming up to 60, 65 years or maybe more, but it's all riveted construction. And there's other, examples around the world of old technology that's still around today. Like in some places in the UK, in London, there's a bridge that was built by Brunel, back in the day. And there's plenty of other examples. We just got to take a look at the pyramids, how long they've been around. They've been around way longer than what I think is actually estimated or told to us by the mainstream. It looks like it, and things just get older and older when you start looking at it. It's absolutely fascinating, So here's to another 100 years that this steamroller is going to be around. It's, I can't, like this photo here. This is 1920, so that some of this stuff may not be around. Well, yeah, it's amazing how some things have been built to last, or they're just, sometimes they're preserved so well. For instance, okay, we'll take the roller. Oh, take that off. Take that off. And no, that's not the one I want. So, like I said before, this is 1926. This was built. So, next year, 100 years old. And for 50 years, no profit in. You're absolutely right, Peter. You're absolutely right. Like these things here, planned obsolescence. This drink container may not be around in 100 years, but who knows how long it'll last if it's looked after. And oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. I tried to avoid it, but I just couldn't do it. I had to sneeze. Anyway, cheers. Maybe I should start a drinking game. When I drink, everyone else drinks. That'd be a good, interesting poll. I should put that up, but not now. Getting a bit late in the night. So despite this being made over 100 years ago and working for about 50, it worked up until about 1960, so about 40 something years this worked for. Then it sat in a park for another 50 years, open to the elements. No cover or anything like that. In fact, in the intermission, you would have seen the photo of the roller in the park, and that's how it sat for 50 years. Luckily, it was inland. This was in the Toowoomba area, so, not near the salt or anything like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Clinton. Around that era anyway. And we've got many examples down at the steam shed of that era. And whether it's the composition, the makeup of the steel or the metal or something like that, it wasn't the best, and the technology was the best at the time. And like everything, as you go on, technology gets, well, they say it gets better, but generally speaking, not a lot of new things have been made. It's just improvement on the old stuff, and very slight, because although we may not have steamrollers today making roads, the principle of a roller is still the same, and a lot of people still call them steamrollers. That's carried over. They don't say it's a diesel roller or a motor roller. They call it a steamroller. It's just one of those generational things. But anyway, that's a topic for another night. I'm going to wrap it up at that. I'd just like to say thank you very much for all of you being here and taking your time to spend a little bit of time with me and watch me what I get up to here in the shed. I really appreciate it. More content coming out soon, of course, when I get round to making it. Sometimes a little bit slack, sometimes it happens. But Thursday nights, sitting in front of the computer, that's pretty easy. So that's an easy one, as long as we haven't got a major thunderstorm or anything like that come rolling through. So thanks again, everyone. If you do want to become a member, just drop us hit that join button. If don't have to. Hey, Emma's here. Speak of the devil. G'day, Emma. Thanks for being here. You must be pretty tired. It's getting close to your bedtime down there, or you might be watching right now. Thanks, everyone. We'll go with the usual outro. Have a good one. Catch us all in the next one. Bye for now. Whistle.